Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. So today it's time for a look at latest kit from MiniArt, which is we've got a few interesting releases coming out from them this year. We've got they're bringing out these Puma armoured cars and all sorts of things. But anyway, we've got the Thunderbolt. Now we've already seen the Thunderbolt, the 25RE, the earlier bubble top. Now this is the I think it's pretty much the last of the line of the bubble top Thunderbolts. Now this is similar to the one that we reviewed, except that apart from the variant, but this is the advanced kit, so this is going to have everything in it, and it's going to have some, I think maybe some resin, certainly going to have a lot of photo etch in it, lots of detail, which means probably millions of parts I expect, well we shall see. In terms of the aircraft itself, this, as I say, it's the last of the line pretty much. Main difference in the aircraft, in the 30RA, which is what this is, it had this fillet tail at the base of the tail. It had an early warning radar also at the back in the tail, under the tail, and it also had dive brakes. So they were using it like a dive bomber. I mean, this plane could do just about everything, and it's got this incredibly jazzy, just zoom in a bit, very jazzy paint job with basically sort of stars and stripes style to it, which I think is really attractive. Yeah, so I think this is going to be quite interesting. Now, you may recall if you saw my earlier video on the 25RE, I think it was. I was very impressed with the kit. I was just a bit disappointed with the clear parts, but other people didn't have the same. Other people said, "Well, mine's all right," you know. So I think there was some. Maybe it was an early issue. I don't know, but we'll have a look at that. I'm hoping that this clear parts will be better. But the problem in the copy I had, they were quite distorted, quite badly distorted. There was a lot of variation in the thickness in the bubble canopy, in a way that was unusual, frankly, and certainly in the copy, the issue that I had to do the review on. So we'll have a close look at that, and we'll keep our fingers crossed this might be better. Now I should straight away say this is not my kit, so I've got to be very nice to it, but we can open the bags. It's actually our viewer and subscriber Chris, who has very generously loaned it to me. I think he plans to build it as well, so yeah, that's going to be something for him to enjoy. Quite how long it's going to take him, I think, depends on how many parts there are inside. But let's have a closer look, let's get cracking. So this is kit number 48029. To be honest, MiniArt tend to not excuse me, they don't have a lot of history or what have you on the actual cover of the box, don't tell you a lot, but they do have the colour call-outs. One thing I should just point out though, MiniArt, of course, are a Ukrainian company, but they have, perhaps understandably, they've relocated to Warsaw, and you can actually see that here with their address on the side, so it leaves you in no doubt that they are now manufacturing in Warsaw, not Ukraine. On this side we have got our three call-outs. So we've got this first one, it's called Orange Tails, okay, not Red Tails, Orange Tails. Very attractive, it's got just about every colour under the sun on there, hasn't it, apart from green. Oh, it's got green as well. Then we've got, that was spring of 1945, so it's right at the end of the war in Germany. And then we've got the Germany May 1945, and that's the 509th Fighter Squadron. The first one was the 366th. And then we've got one with what looks like piggies on it. Is it piggies? Well, I'll look at that when we get into the decals, but the decals. But that looks quite attractive. And you've got what looks like a nice cartograph set of decals there to keep us going. So my only worry about this kit is the same worry I had with the other one, which I reviewed, which was the same as the clear parts. I'm just hoping that, as other people didn't seem to have the same issue. And I saw one other review. I never watched the review, so I haven't seen any reviews of this, even though it's been out for a few months now. I haven't seen anybody else's review of it. It's completely cold to me. I've got no idea what's in it actually. I've got a pretty good guess, but if I'm going to review something, I try and steer clear. And if I have seen other people's reviews, I tend to steer clear of doing my own then, because I think that always leads you down a certain way of thinking. It's always best to have it fresh. So this is completely new to me, and we will see what we have in the box. Well, quite a lot of screws in a big bag, it looks like. Looks like screws are all together in one big bag. And then we've got our I see, if it's in one big bag, it's probably a good thing, isn't it? Because I can open the one big bag and it's not as bad as opening multiple. So let's have a look first at plastic on one side, and we'll have a look at the actual instructions, etc. I can get in. Does this need to be cut? I'm hoping it doesn't. They got, is it a resealable bag? No? That's actually quite odd, because I thought it, no it isn't, you've got to cut it. Sorry Chris, don't worry, I'll reseal it for you, you'll be alright. Let's just cut that very, very carefully then. If I can find my knife. If I can find my knife, which I can't because I'm going to put it somewhere else, which does give us a bit of a problem, doesn't it? So I'm going to have to use the scissors for this actually. And they're not very good scissors either, so we'll skip them. This is a bit embarrassing. I know I did, I left the knife in another room when I opened it after the postman had brought it to the front door, so I'm going to have to actually cut. It's less than ideal, but the good news is I've got very sharp scissors even though they're very small. So they are nice and, you know, they've got a real bite to them, these. It won't make a mess. Probably do a better job than the knife actually. There we go, look at that, no problem at all. Isn't that easy? Okay, there we go. So, let's get rid of our bits over there. Let's have a look then. So, start with the decals, I think. We've got decals and I think we've got stencils. Start with stencils. Let's have a look at these. Oh yes, there's quite a few and they're very, very tiny. So, here we go. A bit closer, there we go. Yes. Oh my goodness. Left view and right view. Oh my lord. Well, there's plenty of them and they're all numbered nice and clearly, so that's good. And the cartograph, so we shouldn't have any problems at all. Like that, that's a good start. Then we've got the main decals, which I will zoom you back for. She'll need to be slightly wider view here. Right, so 5x5 is the one I was looking at. I said it was a piggy. It's not a piggy, it's actually an elephant. It looks like Dumbo. Look at that. Isn't that good? I love it. And then you've got balls out. Charging bull, one of the other options. Tar heel house. Some lovely, lovely decals, aren't they? Very, very colourful and decorative, this lot. Sort of symbolising the end of the war. I think they're letting the hair down a bit, going for a more of an almost a celebratory scheme. Over here you've got your instrumentation decals, quite a few of those, and they look really nice actually. That's above average, isn't it? See that? Yeah, those are really good. Yep, printed by Cartograph, made in Italy, there we go. And very minimal, most minimal carrier film. You know, they always do it so well, don't they? Speaking of which, I know there are many of you out there who always grumble about the Tamiya decals. Well, I must admit, I've just been still working on my Tamiya Mosquito, which will take many months, as I've said before. I'm still working on the cockpit, and even in the cockpit, these there's like a high-vis yellow roundel in various parts of the cockpit, so that when they're getting in them at night, they can see where things are, like the headrest and things. But they've got a lot of carrier film around them, some of those I've noticed. It's quite a halo, and I'm starting to wish I'd been a bit more diligent and cut them off. So going forward, I think I'm going to be much more careful, and I'm going to be taking a view on some of those decals and maybe trimming them a bit. Anyway, so which ones have we had already? That's the one we've had already, isn't it? This one, the 25RE on the back here. Let's zoom you in for this. That zoom's a bit sticky today for some reason. So that's the one we've already seen, that I did have this grumble about the canopy glass particularly. So here we go, general instructions from MiniArt. Oh right, they've done this really nicely, starting with their colour callouts, oddly but very pleasant. That is really a colourful aeroplane, isn't it? Look at that, that's fantastic. Yeah, that really has got it's like all the colours of the rainbow almost. So that's the tar heel HAL. Then you've got the balls out. With the bull on it, charging bull, and that's in the metal finish. Well, they both are in the metal finish actually. And then, oh, and it only shows those two. Well, that is odd, isn't it? What about the other one? That's quite strange. Is it at the back? Show it at the back? Yes, it shows it at the back. Well, why they split those like that, I can't imagine. That's very odd, but anyway, as long as it's there, that's the main thing. So there's the other one, the 5x5, the one with the Dumbo elephant on it, which looks very attractive as a nose art. And then you've got all your colours for all your drop tanks and your bombs, smoke grenades, etc. And the bazooka rocket pipes here. Ground attack, all shown at the end. Anyway, let's look at what the instructions are like. We can go through this fairly rapidly because I think most of it we're fairly familiar with. So, what's different, of course, in this set is the PE. So you've got PE here, PE fret, which doesn't look that huge, if I'm honest, but then you have got all these gun bays. Now this is different, of course. So you can see you've got the gun bays and you've got lots and lots of bullets and things you're going to have to paint up. It's going to require quite a lot of extra work, I think, this one, obviously. Then we've got our seat construction with the belts going in, lap belts and the main harness, putting in your seat and mounting it to your cockpit floor. You've got your stick and all your rudder pedals coming in here, and then here you've got those instrument decals going in. Of course you've got your bulletproof armour plating behind the seat. And this is one of the things about the Thunderbolt that made it very special, of course. We should just mention this, that just when you do a bit of research, even just on Wikipedia, it always says the same thing really, that the pilots of this, it wasn't the most manoeuvrable Allied fighter, but it was fast in a dive, very good at altitude, good climb rate, and very heavily armed with weapons and armoured with defence. And you know, there's a German, one of the German aces was describing, you know, shooting lumps out of these Thunderbolts and it's still flying on, just perfectly happy. Couldn't understand it. You can see bits coming off, and the thing just flew on. You know, they were really robust, no doubt about it. Yeah, the Jug, or Juggernaut as it was known. Anyway, so back in. So then we've got the sides of the cockpit here, which you can see we've got quite a lot of our controls and levers and instruments, radio, etc. on the side there, which looks very nice. Quite a lot of PE here, so it's a bit like an Edward kit in that respect, I think. And you've got your main two sides of the fuselage coming together here. Dropping in your cockpit there, building up your tail wheel, installing that. Then we get into your, it was the Wasp engine, wasn't it, on this one? I was getting them mixed up. I think it's the Wasp engine. Same engine as in the Corsair, am I right? I think I am. Yeah, you're building that up. You've got the all the exhausts are going in there. You've got all the main cylinders for the two banks, obviously. So it's what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 4, and 4. Yes, 8. So it's 16 cylinders in total. Two radial banks, exhaust going in there, all your magnetos and your starter motors and things on the front, and then you've got your ignition rings going in, and you've got the push rods that go in on the rockers on the engine cylinders there. And then you've got this advanced assembly. So they're doing it advanced assembly. I think there might be an advanced assembly of the engine. So yes, there's quite a few PE parts coming in here that were not in the original version. This is where you got quite a lot of extra parts. Got a nice gun sight, again with the PE gun sight, and the mounting point is PE. So yep, going on to the coving on top of the instruments in the cockpit there. And if you have the open hood variant, then you've got different parts. Open hood as in the cowling, open cowling version. Using different parts if you're going to have open or closed, which looks very, looks interesting, doesn't it? Very interesting. Then over here we've got our, you're building up the bay, the gear bay, walls and the actuators, putting on your rudder, and then bringing in your cowling if you're going to have it closed. So closed hood variant is shown over here, of course. So you've got plenty of options, haven't you, with this? No question about it. And then you're going to build up what looks like is that the gear bay or the gun bay? I'm quite sure from this angle. Open hatches. Okay, you're going to have the open hatches, and you're going to build up your use only for open hatch on the wind. Open hatch on the wind? What do you mean? Use the open hatch on the wind. I'll follow You've got your 50 cal guns, 4 of them going on each side, of course, and then you've got your guns themselves going in here. You can actually see the 50 cals with all the open gun bay, and you've got your ammo feed chutes there. I'll zoom you in on, it's quite an interesting feature. Look at this. Ammo feed chutes, there's your 50 cals feed chutes there. And then it shows the inside view, and then you've got these, it calls them flaps, but they're effectively, they're used as a dive brake on this aircraft, aren't they, as well. And then you've got the flaps and the ailerons going in on here. Then you've got the end of the wing going in with the landing lights. Flap down using PE parts, and then you've got all these bullets now. I just want to warn you that, yeah, you're gonna, this part where my thumb is, this is where all the bullets are going to be open, with the hatches open. These are on show, so you're gonna have to paint every one of them. And I've done that with the Mustang, and that was at 32nd scale. I can tell you it was a bit, nightmare is not quite the right word, but it was very laborious, and you have to have supreme attention to detail, otherwise it just won't look good. So you're going to have to be fine with this 48 scale. It's a small scale of bullet, 48 scale, to be doing all those bullets. That's going to be a bit scary. Interesting to see what the plastic's going to be like. Anyway, moving on. So there you got your flaps. If you got the flaps open for the hatches, I should say, for the gun bay. There they are. A bit like any of the Mustangs, I say. And then you're going to build up your gear bay, gun bay, and the gear bays on the other side as well. And again, you're basically repeating all the same process. And then you're going to go to your it looks like you've got different options on the tyres. You've got them under load or normal. Wow, that's interesting. So you've got a weight on wheels effect option, which is cool, like that. That sounds really good. Then you're finishing off putting the other guns in on the other side, and then you're going to put in assemble your gear legs, putting in your wheels and tyres on there. And over the page, again we repeat the process, putting in the flaps, the dive flaps as they are used for landing flaps and dive flaps, and the ailerons going in. And then you've got these sort of PE strengthening strips that are between the gun bays. And then you've also got PE as the stay that holds up the cover flap. Looks cool. There it is. See it there. So there's lots of little PE parts that hold it up. It's certainly very detailed, isn't it? Then you're putting your wings on. It worries me slightly is they haven't got any kind of spar, have they? I hope it's a strong jaw in the wing, because it's going to be quite heavy with all these extra parts in it and these bays and things. I hope it's going to be a solid fit. And then we've got the tail plane, the horizontal stabilisers going in, and your gear doors. You've got the wheels and doors themselves going in, either open or closed. And then that's pretty much there. You've also got the sway braces for the bomb or the tank in the middle, underneath. Then we're into the propellers and the pylons on the wings, and yes, here we are coming to the clear bubble canopy. Let's hope it's a good one. And then you've got your regular paper drop tank, the 108 gallon, 200 gallon aluminium drop tank, and the 150 gallon sort of streamlined Mustang style drop tank there. Complete with sway braces and pylons, as you can see. And then the loadout. So you've got 1,000-pound bombs, AN M65 bombs, which I think is a cluster bomb, is it? Smoke grenades, or the M59 bombs. And then you've got the 250-pound smaller bombs, or the 500-pound bombs. You've got a heck of a selection of bombs, look at that. Really a good selection. And then there's your loadout options there going on. And obviously it should give you a guide. Does it give you a guide for loadout? Just leaves it up to you really. Wiring diagram, oh my lord, okay. Oh, this just got complicated, didn't it? Wiring diagram of the engine. Okay, well that's going to look absolutely amazing. You need to be on your A game with your good eyesight and your Optivisor magnifiers. Same here, wiring diagram for the wing. all the hydraulics going into the operating the flaps and the doors and things and the undercarriage. Look at that, goodness me. And then many stencils, of course. How many are there? 85, did I count there? In the 80s. There we go then. So that's really that is your instructions. They're very clear, aren't they? I'd like to have seen some history about the aeroplane, which they haven't done, which kind of annoys me in the way that ICM always do, you know. That's the only thing that's lacking, really, I think. Apart from that, very nice indeed, very clear. Didn't leave me with a huge amount of confusion about what they're trying to say. It seemed fairly clear to me there. Very well done, very well done. So I'll just put those away for Chris. Make sure everything's back as it should be. We don't want those tape pads going astray. Pop that in there. Now then, let's have a look at what we got. So, I'm presuming I have to... MiniArt are a bit mean with their bags, I have to say. Same on the other one. It's a very tight fit. This is actually going to be... Well, it's going to be a slight problem. I don't think I can reseal it because there's nothing to reseal. It's almost like back sealed, yeah? There's no spare slack at all. But I don't think Chris minds because he's going to build it, he tells me anyway, so... It's just a shame they couldn't have put a resealable bag in the way that ICM do, but they haven't. Anyway, sorry about that, Chris. I won't be able to reseal it after all. There's no meat to bite onto. What is there? There might be if I go across the top, actually. Let's try that. If I go the vertical way, we actually do have a chance. If I do this and kind of unzip it, it might work. I do prefer to send them back in the same condition I found them if I possibly can. But they didn't give them much of a chance, did they? And you know what this is going to be? Another Jack-in-a-Box kit. When I pull it out, I'll never remember. So make sure I'll show you. I'll do this slowly so that I can then watch the video back, figure out how it's supposed to go back in the back. Oh, come on. You can do it. Oh, was that just ripped? I think it was ripped. Ooh. It's very fragile plastic bag, I've got to be honest. Yeah, we had a little rip, nothing major, thankfully. Right, what we got here? So, let's look at this. Let's zoom you in. Yeah, MiniArt, give us a bit more bag, please. You're the opposite of Airfix, aren't you? They give you a bag that wraps around and round and round it. It's that much of it. Right, MiniArt, here we go. So, as I say, they're famed for their detail and many parts. And I guess this is going to be our photo etch fret. It is. It's quite a big old photo etch fret. Okay, so they don't actually give you anything for the wiring. I thought they were going to include that, the way that instruction indicated, but you've got to do your own wiring. You need to get to Albion Alloys or somebody like that, I guess. But yes, it's nice though, isn't it? There's some really super detail here. You've got the, I think it's the ignition sensor around the engine, and then you've got all these like plates and parts that go on the flaps, etc. There's your seat belt for the pilot. Those little strengthening bars between the gun bays. That's basically like where the rivets are, or the fasteners I should say, for actually opening and closing the bay. Very nice, very nice. Just not as much as I would have expected. This sort of, yeah, I thought there'd be a couple of frets like that, if I'm honest. Not a criticism, but just thought there'd be a bit more something. Anyway, I like the way they've done that though, to keep it flat. That's something that others could do with copying, because yeah, I know that Tamiya have a card with it, but putting it in a little envelope's a good idea. I like that. Now I'm going to have a look at the clear parts first, because it's the elephant in the room and I want to get it out of the way really. So this one we're going to open with the scissors. It's only the second and final bag. He says, just checking it's not shrink wrapped, is it? It's not resealable, no it isn't. I've done that bag in a kind of strange way actually, but anyway. Just get into it. Just remember to get my knife out next time. Right, now then, what have we got here? Because last time I was not 100% impressed, if I'm honest. When you think of some of the other things we've seen, you know, from ICM and others, I know it's hard with the bubble top is a difficult shape, but I felt it was a bit too thick and a bit too distorty. I'm not sure if it's better It's not worse, but I don't know if it's any better. See what you think. My camera will leave no stone unturned. Here we go. Now, again, it's a bit. I just think it's a bit fisheye, a bit varying in thickness again. I think you can see that, can't you? So, not sure it's as bad as the original one the 25RE one. That really did jump out, and I was a bit. But on the right, I don't know if you can see here, as we're looking now, on the right, this zone here, where my finger is, it's very distorted over on that side, on that left side. Now I think that must be the mould, really. I can't imagine that's unique to this piece. Let's just turn it round, so now it's on the left. Sort of problem area. It's not a deal breaker, I mean it's a nice crisp, it's a fairly clear, but I'm just not sure it's scale-like enough for my liking. This was the beef I had before. It didn't look scale-like. It almost looked like something that would be acceptable at 172, and I'm just getting. I don't know if I can get this. If you look at the bottom here, this area, there's quite a bit of distortion. Again, a lot of distortion. It's not that scale-like. I don't know. It's not as bad in the middle. When you get to the edges, it sort of distorts a bit, Anyway, I won't dwell on it too much. The front windscreen looks absolutely, well, I was going to say absolutely fine, but even that's got some distortion. Let's see if I can get this. Can you see that? Compared to others, the Tamiyas, ICMs, Sukimuras of this world, just, and I've got a 48 scale Razorback. Now that's a different kettle of fish because it's got more of a glass house on the main canopy, but even so, I think on the windscreen at the front it's a bit better than this. Still think it's a weak point with MiniArt, if I'm brutally honest, and this has been very kindly loaned to me, so I'm certainly not trying to find fault with it, but it's the weak point in the kit again. I think it's just not as good as other manufacturers' clear parts are. It's not that, see it there, it's not their strong point, it's not. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on the negative, but there we go, that's probably going to lose it half a point at least. Sorry folks, but that's just the way it is. It's not a deal breaker, but not sure. Is that supposed to be attached? Is that attached? It looks like that was separated somehow. Not that it matters really, because it's was mine separate? I'm trying to remember. Can't remember. Anyway, these have come out separate, but let's have a really good look. Now this is where it was really, really nice. Sorry, I've got the ICM logo. MiniArt won't be very pleased with it, but never mind. This is where it was really excellent now. It's got this beautiful panel lining and a riveting detail. And again, yes, this time there's no complaints here. Just look at that. That is absolutely stellar. Now riveting is spot on, isn't it? It's as good as, I don't think it's overdone. That's about right, really. And I think once you've got paint on it, it looks a little bit stark, but once you've got paint on it, it'll just be about right, I think. Same on the other side. Fillet tail there. But the little panels are really nicely done. You've got vents, exhausts here, there, really nice. And again, look at the riveting detail on the tail. It's really, really good, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. So nothing wrong there, that's very, very nice. Come back a bit. Now, now you're in trouble. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. So this is the wing components, and this is where we're going to come into some of the super detail the kit's all about, really. So you can see these are the open hatches. This enormous gun bay. I mean, it's quite astonishing that the outer part of the wing is just basically an ammo feed system. And you see that in the artwork at the front, and here is the ammo. So I'm going to zoom you right in for this. Look at this. Now this is where you're going to need to be on your A game. Here's my thumb. So look how small these bullets are. Ooh, you're going to have to really have your finest brush for this, aren't you? That's got to be a hand paint job. I think what I'd do is I'd probably spray all of it in like the brass colour of the shells, and then I'd super detail up the bullet, the head of the bullet themselves separately. Probably the quicker way of doing it, but there's not going to be any great shortcut other than that I can think of, because you've got a lot of bullets to paint there. A lot of bullets. Well, look at the detail on these cowls, isn't it nice? There's no doubting the quality of MiniArt's moulding is really as good as anybody else, apart from on these clear ones for some reason. I wonder if that's the plastic they're using, I'm not sure. You've got all your sway braces and your supports for your flaps there. There's a lot of small parts here. And here's your guns, your 50 cal guns. They're going to go in your wing. Are they slide moulded? Can't actually tell with my eyes. You're probably getting a better view than I am. You have to shout at me. I can't see that. I think there is a hollow end to them. Is there? Can you see that? Can you see it? It's very hard to make out with my eyes at this range. You've got 20 times zoom. I don't have on my glasses, I'm afraid. But they are very nicely formed, those guns. Yeah, and again on the top of the wing there, all the riveting detail is just gorgeous, really. Very nice. Same with the flaps. It's kind of flawless, isn't it, really? It's very nice, that is. Yeah, and the only issue on that is you're going to be testing your eyesight to paint all those parts, I think. Right, next sprue. So this has got all the horizontal stabilisers and also the elevators and our rudder. Bring it a bit close for this. There we go. Horizontal stabilisers there. Horizontal tailplanes. There's your rudder. And then you've got your gear doors. That's in the closed position there. So I think there are separate ones. Or do we have to split? No, surely not. We don't have to split them, do we? Please tell me we don't have to split them. Because that would be annoying if that was the case, to be honest. I don't think that's the case. Surely not. I'm just looking if there are separate parts for it. I'm not seeing them. Let's resolve this by checking the instructions. Because it doesn't come out as one piece. No, it doesn't. Okay, so here you can see we've got when you've got it open, that's the inboard section. But are we saying we have to cut them? I might have to consult the instructions. Can't see anywhere else on the other sprues, we haven't got to yet, where they might be. Have I missed something? Right, let me just zoom you out 1 second. That's causing me a mystery, because I really hope you're not going to have to cut those just to get the actual required door covers. Let's have a quick look again. I don't think I spotted that. No, they're separate parts. No, they are separate parts. So it's just that they come in 3 parts. So yeah, that's why it's hard to spot them as a complete cover. Right, okay. It's only when they are retracted that they actually form into one, or apparently seem to be one door. It's actually 3, split into 3 parts. No problem, no problem. So, panic over. I've been worried there for a second. Yeah, here it is. This is what I was looking for, actually. This is the bit I couldn't spot. I was basically imagining in my mind that when you see the door in its full completed and closed configuration here, I thought it was just split there because there's a second split here. So that's the intermediate part, and then this is here we are, here's the top of the leg cover. So we can relax. Anyway, what's that? Got it's part of the supercharger, isn't it? Supercharger exit there. And yeah, they moulded these parts very, very nicely. Look at that. It's a nice kit. It really is a nice kit. And retail price on this is about the £50 mark, I think. 50 to £55, I think. Or is it more than that? Maybe I should have checked. We'll look at the end. I'll have a quick look for you. Certainly around the sort of 50 to 60 quid sort of region anyway. In the UK, obviously. And then we've got our multiple cowlings, the exhaust openings here. The cooling flaps. You can have them open or closed. And then there's many, many small parts, as you can see. And we've got our elevators. Elevators? Yes, elevators there. And we've got our flaps here. Flap stroke dive brakes. Here's your armour plated seat back. Armour plate behind the seat. And you've actually got here the seat itself with the harnesses already in it, which is quite nice actually. That's been very finely done, in fairness. That looks pretty good to me. Quite impressive, that. That's nice. Okay, that's that one. Then our propellers. Now then, I like the way they've done this. I think that's very, very good. So they've gone and got them so you assemble and overlap the two. Like so, with your big boss in the middle. But that's really nice looking prop. Very, very beautifully formed. Little spinner here. Yeah, very nice. Haven't put the sprue gate attachment point in a silly place. It's fairly inboard. I would have liked to have seen it maybe a bit more inboard, but anyway, there we go. I'm trying to think what the kit was recently, wasn't it? The Marauder, where they'd really done it well, they'd put them right inboard. Then we have here our cockpit, floor, and rear bulkhead, complete with instrument panel as well. Which looks really, really nice. And you've got the side, look at the detail there. All the little wires and electrical connectors on the cockpit side. That's really been well done. Excellent work, that. Well done, MiniArt, that's superb. And then you've got your stick. And you've got various connectors. I think that's the oxygen mask connector, I think, the wire here, pipe. That's lovely. Then we have, whoops, back to this because we've got a lot of it. Yes, they're rather strange the way they do these sprues, aren't they? They're most peculiar. But then you've got your drop tanks. You've got your papier-mâché one at the top left, that one, which are, yeah, disposable obviously. And then you've got, so it is a drop tank, but this is I think it's 500 gallons, wasn't it? And then you've got all your bombs. Oh, look at these are really nice. So those are those are the £1,000 bombs, aren't they? And then we've got the slightly smaller ones, £500 bombs and the 250s. Excuse me. And you've got all your tail fins here. And what we got here. Yeah, we've got more of the bigger drop tanks. The really, really large ones there. And you've got this is the smoke bomb. It's got this rather strange sort of exhaust on it. And then we've got you've got these weight on wheels, which I think they've done really, really nicely. Look at this. Okay, now those are nice, aren't they? Look at that. Oh yes, that's very, very cool. Nice tread on it as well. And you've got 3 different variants of sort of wheel trim, wheel disc. And you've got sway braces there. And many, many small parts in true MiniArt tradition. And then over on the other side we've got some more wheels now. This time you've got the option, if you don't want weight on wheels, not sure why you would, particularly unless you just want to have it without the bombs and things. Perhaps It doesn't need the same squish on the wheels, but there you are. There's the standard style of wheel. But you've got weight on wheels on the tail wheel as well. If you look carefully, that's quite impressive. Yeah. Okay, and then you got your 50 cal guns. Are they hollow? Yes, they are. They are actually slide moulded. He says. I'm not doing this very well. There we go. 50 cal guns that are slide moulded with hollow tips. Muzzles are hollow. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh yes, we like that. Absolutely brilliant. Then you've got lots of parts. Oh, many small parts. You've even got the radio here in the cockpit. Gosh, the pilot's headrest here. It's all there, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Beautiful sprue, that one. Then we've got our engine sprue with the engine on, and all of the... There's a lot of sprue attachment points here. This is very Edward style, which I don't particularly like, I've got to say. See what I mean? There's quite a lot of clean-up there, isn't there? Yikes! Yes, I'm not a fan of that, if I'm really honest. I think another half point may be coming off, because you're going to do loads of clean-up to get that right. And then you've got your the front of the engine, obviously, the sort of where the magnetos go. And then you've got your surround, your ignition system and the bracing for the cowling around the outside there. Over here you've got your push rods, and again I'm not entirely happy, if I'm honest. This is very Edward-like, as I mentioned. I'm not entirely happy with the way those attachment points have been done. What was I just saying about that just a couple of minutes ago? Ouch, I don't like that. How are you going to get in there? That's going to be really tricky. That's not a good design, MiniArt. Sorry, that's not quite as impressive. Also, they're coming up with some of these ejector lugs, which I've seen before on a couple of their kits. Anyway, don't be too negative, but yeah, there's a couple of points there. And yeah, this sprue is not doing them a lot of favours, even though it's beautifully moulded and nicely formed, but troublesome to get it off the sprue, I think, to be honest. And then we've got these are the parts of the lower wing. Oh, sorry, this is actually, is that the lower wing? Yes, it's the lower wing with the landing light, reflector light. Lovely panel detail, riveting, gorgeous, superb. Then we've got more. Actually, that's a duplicate sprue, that one. And then finally we have got the sprue with the lower wing. Sorry, you've actually got the option. This is the standard wing without the hatches, top wing and lower wing. So you don't have to super detail it if you don't want to, which I quite like, you know, that they give you both in the one kit. Probably makes buying it a bit pointless in some respects, but okay. And then you've got basically the cowlings here. And you've got your legs for your undercarriage. So there we have it. That seems to be the kit, really. So, very interesting. I think the detail is absolutely fabulous. They've just let themselves down a little bit again. It's the same problem as the first kit, and I'm not impressed with the bubble canopy. I'm sorry, it's not very good. It looks like a scaled up 72nd scale clear canopy. Do you know what I mean? That isn't that great, I've got to be honest. It's not a deal breaker, and it, you know, I suppose perhaps I'm being a bit picky, I don't know, but that and the way they've done those parts of the engine, that's going to be a nightmare. Those push rods, getting that out, you're going to have to be very, very careful. There's lots of opportunity for breaking parts there. Lots of opportunity. So there we have it. So I shall put that all away for Chris a bit later on. What do we think then? So I think 9 out of 10 is a little bit low, but 9.5 is too high. So I'm going to go at 9.25 out of 10 because I think that's kind of fair, more than generous, really. You know, there's some strange choices they've made there with one or two of the parts, the way that they're on the sprue. And I was just, you know, I got halfway saying, oh yes, they're doing better than Edward. And then they went and did the same as Edward, so that kind of annoyed me a little bit. However, the detail and the crispness of the plastic is stunning, really. So I think 9.25 is a fair score. I don't think you can go wrong with that. Not a cheap kit, as I say. We'll just check actually what they are charging for this, because I'll have a quick look. I'd like to know, just to be sure. I can give you the very latest prices. So if I say alright, it's a long title, isn't it? When you're all day typing this out, right? Okay. Yeah, so I was right. It's about £50 to £55. I was right the first time, actually. Thereabouts. Possibly postage might be more on top. So £50 to £60 all in. Very nice kit, and thank you very much to Chris for showing it to us, because I'm glad I've seen it now. I think they've done the gun bay really well. It amazes me. I didn't realise it's a bit different to the Mustang, where the gun bay is more conservative and it's in the middle of the wing. This is kind of all wing, and the gun bay is all over it. It takes over the wing internals. Incredible. So an interesting aircraft, and some lovely, nice decals in it. There you go. Yeah, a nice kit. Very good. I just hope going forward they would pay a bit more attention to the clear parts and just make some better choices with some of those positioning of the contact gate points from the sprue. There we go. Anyway, thank you to Chris for sharing that with us. I hope you enjoyed watching and saw some nice detail, and you're either going to think, I'm not sure, or yes please, So thanks to all of you. Hope you'll give me a thumbs up, give me a 10 out of 10, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, don't forget to ding the notification bell, and be sure to click all in the options menu under notifications, because if you don't, sometimes YouTube will make its own mind up what thinking for you instead of you making the choice yourself. So until next time, we've got some more interesting things coming up. We're going to have another mosquito update. I've been busy with that. It is slow going because it's a lot of detail, of course, but I don't mind that. It's slow going, but it's not painful. It's okay. Which I'm pleased to report, obviously. Until next time, thank you for watching this time. Please look after yourselves. Thanks a lot. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye for now.